welcome to the Single Family Design Board for May 4th. We'd like to start the meeting with roll call.
Okay, here we go. We are in attendance of, thank you, I will proceed with our roll call. Chair Sherry,
Yes.
Vice Chair Moslehi,
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
Board Member Richards,
Yes.
and Board Member Rolfe.
Yes.
Yes, we have a quorum. Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is public comment. Any member of the public may address the board for up to 2 minutes on any subject within this jurisdiction that is not scheduled on this agenda for a public discussion. Do we have anybody in the audience who would like to speak?
Okay. Okay, for general public comment, I have not received any speaker slips for items not on the agenda. Just as a reminder, we do have speaker slips to the side of the room by the entrance door. Next, we move on to the virtual comment for general comment, and I don't see any raised hands for this particular item. So with that, I'll turn it over back to you, Chair Sherry.
Thank you. We'll move on to approval of the minutes of the Single Family Design Board meeting of April 20th. You could stop there for a second. Is everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, move on.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would just say that instead of cohesive trims, it's just trim in item 2. I wasn't here, but it just looks like a typo to me.
That's what we
Okay. Okay, moving on. Okay, anyone? Any more comments?
More comments.
Will somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from April 20th, 2026.
I'll second.
Okay, here we go. Sorry. Board Member Wolfe,
Do I say yes if I wasn't there? Or
You can just abstain.
abstain?
Yeah, you can abstain.
Abstain.
Board Member Richards,
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Moslehi.
Yes.
And Chair Sherry.
Abstain, I guess. I never knew I had to abstain, but
Okay.
abstain due to absence.
Yes, thank you. And the motion passes. Thank you.
Thanks. Approval of the minutes of the Single Family Design Board consent meeting of April 20th.
Okay, and that was me, and I believe I made some edits on the last sheet, so I'm not sure if those were applied or not, but I'm happy to read through them digitally as
Sure.
well.
Let's see. Was it item C or D?
I think it might have been C. Let's see. They were held, the items were heard out of order, so I think it was the third item.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
let me just read through.
Sure.
Okay, and then can you continue? Thank you. Okay, looks good. Is there anything past number 5? Oh, no. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the consent calendar of April 20th, 2026.
I'll second that.
Okay, here we go. Board Member Rolfe,
Yes.
Board Member Richards,
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
Vice Chair Moslehi,
Yes.
and Chair Sherry.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, ratification of action taken on the consent calendar of May 4th.
Sure. So these items were posted on the full board agenda, so they can be viewed online. I'm just going to read out the action items. So item 1, 638 Sutton Avenue was granted project design approval and final approval. Item 2, 622 Miramonte Drive was granted project design and final approval. Item 3 at 825 Alameda Padre Serra was granted project design approval and final approval with conditions. And item 4 at 216 La Vista Grande was postponed to May 18th at the applicant's request.
I'll make a motion for the ratification of action taken on the consent calendar of May 4th.
I'll second that.
Okay, here we go. Board Member Rolfe,
Yes.
Board Member Richards,
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
Vice Chair Moslehi,
Yes.
and Chair Sherry.
Yes.
And motion passes. Thank you.
Announcements?
Yeah, just a reminder that staff is looking to have a staff training for the new SFDB updates. They were adopted by City Council. They'll be going into effect in May. And we're looking to have a training session on the week of May 18th. And so, yeah, if you could just follow up with me either after the hearing or by email, just to double check that the date I recommended works, so that we can create that special hearing date. We're kind of backed up for the next few hearings, so we wanted to make sure training happened before the new ordinance goes into effect.
I think we got that email and we responded saying it worked, or everybody should have responded by now about that. So we're just waiting for, I don't know if anything else I need to do.
Okay, excellent.
But did everybody respond to that?
I did.
Should be good for that.
So,
Okay, all right, excellent. All right, thank you.
I hope I did. Thought I
Yes,
did.
yes, I gave it as a general announcement because I haven't heard that back from all the board members yet.
Okay,
So,
okay,
yeah,
got
just
it.
a reminder. Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
Perfect. Okay, moving on to item 1, which is 1407 Cliff Drive. This is a proposal for first and second story additions on an existing 2-story, 1,976 square foot home with a 461 square foot attached garage. 236 square feet of first story additions are proposed on the front and rear of the home with a new 545 square foot covered terrace. 378 square feet of second story additions to the front and the rear of the home are proposed with an attached 582 square foot covered deck with a hot tub and backyard wood timber steps. Replacement of windows, doors, gutters, and roofing is proposed. The Total proposed 3,040 square feet on 10,945 square foot lot is 79% of the maximum required floor area ratio. The project qualifies for an exemption from further environmental review under Section 15301 of the California Environmental Quality Act. Project design approval is requested and NPO findings are required. The project was last reviewed on February 9th, 2026. Your name for the record.
Tom Oxner, architect. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
And I could start with the minutes from the last meeting.
Yeah,
Is
that'd be
that-
great.
Let me see, where are those here?
Yeah, it is the second tab there,
tab.
Second tab.
through the
Yeah.
chair to the
Yeah.
applicant, and I have highlighted
Excellent.
the motion there for you.
Okay. Let's see, continue indefinitely with the following comments. Overall, the board appreciates the concept with the addition being modest in nature, the amount of additional square footage and the general mass, bulk, and scale appear to be appropriate. The board feels the north elevation with the extension of the existing shed roof over the new upper level addition can be improved upon by a different articulation of the addition of the west side of the building. So that's exactly what we also had a couple more comments that I can bring in, as I recall. But let's look at, we'll jump right to, I think this is a good one to start with. So the upper left-hand corner shows the side of the building that's facing Cliff Drive, and that was just a continuous shed that went all the way across at the previous submittal. So we introduced a gable right at the entry, and then we put in a parapet flat roof element to create a breakup of the massing to address the concern that it was really just kind of an extension of what was there, and it lost its character, which we felt was a good comment. And then there was another, I think someone had a comment about the west side over here. So we took that lower shed roof and bumped it up a foot to try to give a little bit of more breakup to that side. And I'll show the details on the south elevation, but there was a concern about the edge of this roof as it met the trellis, that it was thin and it wasn't really reading heavy. So we added blocking between right at the point where the tiles hit that trellis, remember? And I've got a detail of that I can show you here. So this is a better idea of what the front of the building will look like from pedestrians on Cliff Drive. And here's some other views of it. And then this gives you a little bit of an idea of the rear. So that gutter, it's not, that would be a shallower gutter that can fit in there, and we'd slightly notch the top of those rafter members. I've got a detail of how that lays out, but that was the concern on the back. And this is what we've got, of course, now. So we're trying to bring in the architectural style from the front and wrap it around the best that we can, given the scope of work at hand. But the scope of work really stays the same at this point to what you reviewed last time. I'm going to go down, and so we've got the tiled roof, which now wraps around the perimeter of the building, which ties in with the front of the building. And I'm going to go down to a section here that this was the area here that had some comments to it. And as you can see, that was a difficult detail, but what we're looking to do is we've got 2 by tongue and groove, and then this blocking should add some bulk to that detail. And then we've got room for a shallow 3 or a custom gutter that will fit in here, because we do need to get water away. But I think that trellis beam can support a notch there for it. So anyway, that's how we addressed your comments of the last meeting. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Does that conclude your presentation?
Yes, it does.
Okay, moving on to public comment.
Okay, thank you, Chair Sherry. I'll start with in-person public comment. I have not at this time received any speaking slips for this item. Upon looking on Zoom, I do not see any raised hands for this item, and I have not received any hard copy public comment or correspondence on this item. So with that, I'll turn it over back to you, Chair Sherry. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Anyone want to start? Anybody have questions? Board Member Graffitti?
Yeah.
One question I had was for, is there any proposed landscaping?
Well, no. I mean, the closest thing we've got to that is this terrace on the south side, which is developed.
Okay.
And it's really developed landscaping all around the building, so the answer is no.
Okay.
Any more questions?
I have one question. Has there, if you go to your sheet that you were showing us the renders, the other one that shows the roof, sorry, T1.90?
Let me see, which direction is that?
That's,
there we go,
that one.
right, there we
Yes.
go.
Has there anything changed on the roof, those walls that are on the roof from the previous plans? And you can go back to your old plans, it's your third tab if you want to show it to us.
I don't think so. I could be wrong. Let's take a look. So this is what we had before. So we've added the tiled roof
Yeah.
around that.
But not the walls,
No,
correct?
not the
Okay.
walls, yeah.
That was only my question.
Yeah, that looks the same.
More questions?
Yeah, just a minor question. Did you change the guardrails from like metal cables in the front to glass?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was a discussion. So currently in the front, let's revisit that here. We've got dark anodized frame system with cables in it. So the owners really want glass, so what we've done in the back is we've used that same framework, but instead of
Okay.
cables, we put glass in it.
Okay.
So the front is cable and the glass is back? Because I had the same question because I'm not seeing cables on the front walkway.
Okay, so this is what we're proposing for the back. Let's see if we can find a photo here. that
I just
can
didn't see it
show
on the
that.
rendering, so that was my question.
It's hard to see the cables in the rendering, but I'm just looking okay, there we go. There's a photo right there.
They are cables right now.
Yes, and you can see them right there. Can you see them in that photo? So that's what we've got. So we want to use the same framework, but they just like the glass on the
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Any more questions?
One more question. How much that front mass protrudes from the face of that exterior wall? Is it a foot?
It's not a lot. We struggle to try to really get some articulation there. Let's take a look at a plan here and go over what we were able to do. Let's see. There's our floor plan. Here we go, right. Proposed. There it is right there. So you can see, so we've got a foot coming out here, and then it goes back to about 1.5 feet. And then this is the parapet mass above. So it doesn't rely just on the break, but it changes the roof. So we have a shed, a gable, and a flat roof articulated by each of those three surfaces, even though they're close to each other. The roofs kind of help build them up a little bit.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Can you go back, sorry, yeah, can you go back to the front perspectives where we're looking at looking down the walkway?
Right there?
Yeah, so in this, it looks like the area underneath the walkway is solid, yet in your plan, it looked like you had your FAU still parked there. And
So we've got the area underneath the walkway is, I think I see, down in here.
to the left of that, but yeah, directly
Oh, yeah,
underneath the entryway, right?
To the left of that, there's, let's look at the plan. That is supposed to be open there because there is, and that's where our condenser is. Let's look. So, Yeah, so that there is so that on the model it shows a wall there, but there's actually a cavity
Okay.
there. And it's, if we go to the floor plan, we can see it right there. That's the cavity, and that would be our condenser unit. But yes, that was, I don't know what happened to that section of wall on that model, but there is a void there.
And then, is that enough clearance around the FAU to service it? Has that been studied?
It should be. That's drawn as a very large condenser, so I think that, it looks like around 5 feet, so that should work.
Okay.
Do you want to start with comments?
Sure.
Board Member Richards, start with comments.
You know, I think it's a,
You know, one clarification, that is right underneath the walkway,
okay.
so it's hard to see that, yeah.
I think it's an improvement from where we saw it last time. So, and I appreciate the attention to detail and adding the tile to that overhang. I think that gives it some weight and improvement. So,
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So I really like what you've done and articulated the entry, and it definitely feels cleaner. And I like the arched entry, the circular arched entryway. The minor things that I thought that would help the project even more is the parapets in comparison to like the roof. I feel like they could be tied together a little more. Like I think the rectangular, maybe just a little variation in shape, like around downtown. I'll see kind of the parapet. There might be like a slight shape, or maybe even like clay roof on it. It's just up to you what you think would look good. And then I also feel the plane on the I guess it's above the garage. I think there's like a 2-story plane, and I feel like that could be, if it's not broken up by the plane, maybe some articulation with the Spanish decorative like clay tile or some interesting patterns to make it feel less of a, or just to break it up visually. I think
This
that.
area in
To the right, or above the garage, in between the windows, just to break up the feeling of that white mass. So I think but those are suggestions. So, but that's all. And I really like that you put the Spanish tile by the trellis. I think that ties it in really well. So, yeah, I think it's a really nice project.
Board Member Muzzle here.
Yeah, sure. I think it's a great improvement from the last time that we saw it, and especially at the entry. The entry has been defined much more, and the only comment that I would have is like the parapet at the entry. When I look, if you scroll down to the render, that it's like front, like it's this one, yes. I'm still not sure the right side parapet above the gabled entry needs to be, does it need to be this tall?
That's a good, I know, I was looking at that too, it could be
Yeah.
dropped.
I'm not sure if the articulation is that one is shorter than the other one. I mean, I leave it to you, you're the architect.
Yeah.
Just, I don't understand like why it's taller than the gable roof now that the gable roof has been introduced to the entry. When you look at it at the 1 point perspective, you're going from the bridge. I'm not sure it's the best optimum option, and that can be studied. I think in general, like having all the railings the same now, although it's not seen from at the same time, but it's like the more consistent and cohesive to the project.
Yeah, from this view. it
Yes,
looks a little
that's,
high, doesn't it?
yeah. And the front, the one that it's above when you're going from the bridge. That's the only comment that I have. Yeah.
Okay, great comments so far. I agree with all of those. I think improvements from the last time we saw the project. Happy to support it for PDA. My one note would be from a landscaping perspective, and I don't require this, but for some reason, this is such a cool entry and so unique. And for some reason in my head, I want there to be like giant bird of paradise on either side, or a skinny palm tree or something. I don't know all the conditions under, but I feel like it'd be such an interesting opportunity for some like tropical or interesting foliage. I think giant bird of paradise would be like an easy one to add that would grow quickly, but I think it would just make it extra special and may even address some of the other comments made today with the massing from the front. So not a requirement, but I think could be studied and possibly added.
That was one of my comments, actually, that I thought that the front elevation, because it's very minimal and its massing, that could benefit from some taller accent trees or vines or the strelitzia like you're recommending, something like that, Tom, I think would really benefit the front elevation. I agree with the comment about any way to possibly lower that parapet, but I understand that the gable wants to die into the parapet so that it's cleaner. So I kind of understand why you did that. But if there's any way to drop it, great. I also understand why you raised the plate of the entryway because of the shed on the side meeting it. But it's taking that proportion of that gable a little bit, that plate height, it's a little bit higher than what we would normally see. So the arch there's a lot of mass of plaster above the arch that is not typical proportionally. But I understand why you did it. But if there's anything you can do, like lowering the plate of the shed to lower the plate to somewhat diminish the amount of plaster between the top of the arch and the gable, that would,
Yeah.
I think that would be a nice addition. And I personally prefer the parapet without any tile detailing. I think it's much more classic in this way. I like this treatment. And I didn't quite understand Board Member Rolfe's comment. Maybe she could explain again what you were talking about with the garage breakup of the massing. Can you explain that again? Because I didn't quite understand that.
Well, it's just, I feel like it's just it's just a two-story plane, and I just thought it's a lot of stucco. I just thought if there's any type of, like you see how there's like metal bars over that tiny window, just anything like decorative to kind of break up that massing, that was all. But yeah, no, I just thought the two-story, it just felt a little.
So my
little
comment,
bulky.
based on what Board Member Rolfe is pointing out, is that I think a possible solution would be to lower that parapet to make the massing a little more manageable, and that might solve it. But I'm more of the, personally, I'm more of a less is more in detailing on this house. But Board Member Rolfe's opinion is what it is. I'm just going to say I prefer it really, really simple. But if you could lower the parapet, that would be great, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So-
but I was gonna say, too, is like maybe I don't know, I've seen with the stucco Spanish buildings, maybe like a slight, just like introducing little curves, or, at the entryway, it's just this extrusion. Maybe it takes on some of those curves and there's some walls that have little curves just to complement it. I was trying to tie it all together.
Okay, any other
Yeah.
comments? Does anybody want to make a motion? Does anybody feel this is ready for project design approval?
I think for project design approval, yes.
Oh, and then should we look at the finished
Oh.
board, which we kind of looked at, but
Yeah.
we already saw
Sure.
it. We already saw it.
Yeah.
Anybody?
And board members, if I could also request for final approval, if it's in the board interests to continue this to the consent level,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to consider that. Thank you.
All right. Open for a motion.
Do it? Yeah.
I know we have some torn comments, so I'll do my best to articulate those. I'll make a motion to grant project design approval with the following comments. I guess I provide comments before neighborhood preservation findings. Okay. the board appreciates the updates to the detailing and to the west elevation from the last meeting. The board would like to see the parapet on the west elevation reduced in size if possible. The board would, the board is looking forward to seeing further detailing of the architecture for final review. The board is torn, I guess, if,
You could
The board
say
is-
one board member
okay,
suggested a more additional detailing on the west elevation at the two-story element. You could say one
Okay.
board member suggested that
Okay,
additional
one-
detailing would benefit, and you could just say that.
Okay.
That would address.
Yeah, that's good.
one board member would appreciate further detailing of architectural, further, say, detailing or addition of architectural, Spanish-style architectural details on the, is that the north elevation?
West.
West, that's the west, okay. And we'll move on to neighborhood preservation findings. The proposed development is consistent with the scenic character of the city and will enhance the appearance of the neighborhood. The proposed development is compatible with the neighborhood, and its size, bulk, and scale is appropriate to the site and neighborhood. The proposed buildings and structures are designed with quality architectural details, and the proposed materials and colors maintain the natural appearance of the ridgeline or hillside. No trees are impacted. The public health, safety, and welfare are appropriately protected and preserved. The project generally complies with the Good Neighbor Guidelines regarding privacy, landscaping, noise, and lighting. And the development, including proposed structures and grading, preserves significant public scenic views of and from the hillside. And I just want to make one update to my motion that the project design approval with the board supporting the project to come back to consent for final approval.
Under discussion, did we
We
mention?
need
the-
a seconder
Oh, okay, somebody has.
first. I'll second, and I have a discussion item too. Go ahead.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I was gonna mention, did we mention the north elevation, the study, the parapet height, and the plaster above the arch entry?
Okay, so I'll make an update. I think it was to the, I forget if it was the first or second point, but study the north and west height of the parapets, and then separately, study the north elevation, the proportion of the plaster above the arched entry door.
And my under discussion item that might be good to include in the motion would be to consider softening the north elevation with additional landscaping, trees or
Okay,
shrubbery.
we can include that, yeah. And then another addition to the motion is for the applicant to study softening the north elevation with landscaping alongside the entry.
Just a clarification for that last motion with the consideration of studying the north elevation with softening it with landscaping. Can we tack that on as a fifth comment instead of rolling it into the second
be a
comment?
separate comment.
A separate
Yes.
comment. Okay, so all.
Landscaping should be a separate comment. The
Okay.
front entry should be a separate comment. You can merge or separate the west and north parapet elevation comment.
All right, got
But
it.
both are regarding the parapet and consider reducing the height.
Okay, perfect. All right,
Okay?
thank you.
Does the seconder accept the
Yes.
changes?
Oh, is that me or you?
You were.
It's you, Dawn.
It was me.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay, here we go. Board Member Wolf,
Yes.
Board Member Richards,
Yes.
Board Member Garfietti,
Yes.
Vice Chair Moslehi.
Yes.
And Chair Sherry.
Yes.
And the motion passes. Thank you.
Great,
very
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
And just an announcement that does start the appeal period. So if you'd like to appeal the decision made here today, you have 10 days to do so. All right, thank you.
All right, moving on to item 2, we're 5 minutes behind. To item 2, 1511, Alameda Padre Serra. This is a proposal to permit an as-built driveway extension associated with an existing single-unit residence to abate a violation. A new 800-square-foot, one-car garage with workshop is proposed. The project includes site improvements consisting of regrading the northerly portion of the existing driveway, expansion and alteration of the as-built driveway, and new retaining walls, site stairs, and new pool fencing and gates. The total proposed 5,180 square feet on 24,861 square feet is 109% of the maximum guideline floor area ratio. No final appealable decision will take place at this hearing. MPO findings, hillside design, slope lot findings, and grading findings will be required when the project is reviewed for project design approval. Your name for the record.
Jim Davis, architect.
Hi, Jim.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm here with the owner, Dave Dwelly.
Yep, hi, I'm Dave Dwelly, I'm the project owner.
All right, well, you guys can see here on the cover sheet, we've got quite a bit of information already, and this project had received approval to the main house. So that's why you see the colors. You see, we just figured we'd provide that information because we wanted to not really make any changes to what's already been approved when we get to that point. So that's a little bit of cart ahead of the horse, but that's why that's there. So here's the existing site plan. This is the driveway that is existing currently. It's existing pavers. I believe it's even permeable pavers. It's like a grasscrete kind of a situation. So this is what we are planning to regrade because it's extremely steep right now. We're also going to be reworking the existing driveway slightly too because it's a little bit hard to maneuver what is existing there. The proposal, and we'll move on to the next sheet here. So you can see here, we're starting to show you some of the site walls, the reconfiguration of the driveway, and then as it comes down, keeping basically the same path, and then reconfiguring it at the bottom for accessing the new garage that we're proposing down here. Let's see. As we go on to, here's the floor plan of this garage. So we're pulling that paving up to it because the idea is that he wants to be able to work on cars within this garage. That's what the whole purpose of this accessory structure is. So we're keeping it pretty simple. We've got a site stair that comes down from the area of the pool along the east side here. We originally had it along the left side, but it didn't quite work. It just kind of fit better in between the two structures here too. Here is the main elevation. Since it is bunkered into the hillside, it's going to have a green roof on the top, and then we're going to be continuing the railings just along the top as well, just for fall protection. But it's going to be doors that all pocket over to the side, or not quite pocket, I'm sorry, they all register on the left-hand side to allow that car to come through there and be able to work on vehicles within the structure. The two sections slash elevations are provided here too, one from the west side showing some of the site walls, and then along the east side again that go up into that pool area. Again, here are just some more sections through the structure. Originally, we were planning to permit this as an ADU, so again, that's why these drawings are a little bit further than what I think you guys are probably used to seeing for a conceptual review. But in order to have the pavement go all the way up to the structure and use this as a car, pulling into the structure, we had to change the use, and thus we had to come back to design review for that, now that it's no longer an ADU. So the reason I'm saying is I don't want you guys to take slight in the fact that we've taken the drawing so far as we have, because originally we didn't need to come to design review, but. Okay. We do have Chuck McClure, who helped us with the landscape drawings. I apologize he's not here today, but if you guys do have questions, we can do our best to try to answer them, but we will have him here for the next meeting. And then we also have stormwater control plans for the project. This is just the existing. So we will be implementing some retention down on the lower portion of the lot. And that will conclude my presentation.
All right, we'll move on to public, thank you, we'll move on to public comment.
Okay, here we go. Thank you, Chair Sherry. I'll start with in-person public comment. I have not received any speaker slips for this particular item. We have not received any public correspondence on this item. And checking Zoom, I do not see any raised hands for this particular item. So with that, I'll turn it over back to you, Chair Sherry. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions from the board, Board Member Graffitti.
Okay, great. Since we're on this shot, what is the height of the, I guess it's to the top of the sandstone wall? I know we're not reviewing that, but just so I can get an understanding. Do you have an
Let me
idea?
see if I can zoom in here. So it's about 10 feet to here, so to the deck it's another 1 foot, so it's about 11 feet. Well, that's from down here though, so you're gaining up, what is that, probably 2 feet?
Something like that.
So
Okay.
it's about an 8-foot high wall.
But those are existing, but the finish of the wall is new, or can you help me understand what's, I know there's some site walls proposed, so which part of it is proposed and what is existing?
The site walls on the left-hand side will definitely be new.
New, yeah.
And then these ones, we're planning to reface them, or that's the idea, is to reface the existing pool wall.
Okay, and then is there planting or something recommended in front of that?
There is actually on the
Okay.
landscape drawings again.
Okay, that's okay. I know we're still at concept, I just
Right.
wanted to make sure that was the intention. And then for the pavers, for the part of the driveway that you're going to be regrading, do you already have an idea of what you're proposing for the material?
I believe it's going to be just the concrete right now.
Okay.
And that's just in a cost basis. It's
Okay.
pretty well screened from neighbors and they're,
But it's permeable currently, and you're moving to go to concrete?
It was built without the benefits of permits.
Okay.
So I doubt that it's built to a permeable standard.
Okay.
It is a grasscrete, so it does have some landscaping growing up through it. So I don't know if there's really
So, but in our project description, the proposal is to permit an as-built driveway extension. So are we permitting a separate part of the driveway?
The lower level, the hatched area is new, right?
this is hatched area. New,
Okay.
yes.
So
That was done without permits.
that was done without permits?
This portion was done without permits up.
Correct.
Yeah.
All through here.
Okay. But that's the permeable portion, and at the bottom, that's probably proposed to be concrete.
This is concrete down here,
Okay.
but we are proposing this is all going to be repaved because it's getting regraded too, because it's too steep right now to
Okay.
really be functional.
Yeah, and I just wanted to provide clarification too, that there was over, I believe, 200 cubic yards of grading that is proposed to be
Okay.
permitted for this project.
Got it.
So it was quite, somewhat a substantial amount of grading done for this paved area.
Okay.
And so part of the permit is permitting that work and also proposing a more compliant driveway into the rear area there.
Okay.
And
Can I clarify something there too? Because
Sure.
The civil quantities are actually including the area underneath the structure too.
Okay.
So that number is larger than what it would typically be for.
Okay.
Okay,
just
I see
the
what you're
site
saying.
work.
Okay.
Just to be clear.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification. And so, and another note for that as well is that because of that benchmark for the amount of grading that we have on the plans for cut and fill combined, is that when it reaches, I believe, let me double check the number, but a part of the conceptual hearing today is also granting a 3D grading model waiver. It's something that we reach when we have, I think it's 200 cubic yards of grading, but let me
Got
double
it.
check that number, and it's something I wanted to mention for staff comments to include in your motion today as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I know the city checks all of this. I was just confused about going from a permeable to a non-permeable on a slope and all the grading. So I think that'll be good to get an idea of that. And then do you have any photos from like the road below as well, looking back up? That would be helpful from the public road below.
I skipped it, yeah. So these are older photos, actually. I apologize that since the house has been redone, but it gives you a sense of what it is, looks like from the above. Along the west property line, this is the view that you would see. And then from down below, these are fairly accurate for giving you a sense of what's happening with the site walls.
Okay. And then do you have any photos not from the site, but from,
There is no road down below that is
Just down
really
below the hillside,
There's
okay.
all residential down below.
okay, so you can't, there's no public road where
No.
this is visible at all?
No, not at all.
Okay, got it. That's helpful. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good to know. Okay, thank
And
you.
then neighborhood context photos is provided
Questions,
too.
Board Member Mosley?
Yeah, sure. And now that we're on this sheet, can you zoom in on number 7, which shows this one, yes. Is there any, so the existing wall that now you're showing as a stone wall, is the overall height of the proposed above the railing height and those columns, or
We're
it's?
matching that height. We're trying to keep that a consistent line going through. We're not trying to raise anything.
So like the height of it stayed the same, the overall height is the same?
Correct.
Okay.
And that's why we're pressing down with, you could see where that was going down and where we were coming into the structure too, over on this side.
Understood. And can you go back to those elevation that you have with the stone wall and the site east and west? A question about the railing. Okay. Can you help me understand on the east and west elevation, it's more obvious, and of course on the elevation above, that the end of the railing that become the triangle, I cannot read that.
Oh.
Where is it on the plan?
So it's
I don't know.
actually, it's that tiny little bit that's coming down through here. So that right there, let me go back up to here too. So it's essentially as you're coming down right along this portion right here. It's probably not, well, no, we do have 4 risers, so that's why we need it.
Okay,
It's
and you're
just
not
a
planning
riser.
to extend it horizontally and just leave it like that?
We could potentially, we were just trying to minimize the not encroach onto the pool deck as much as
I see.
possible.
Okay, okay. That was more of my questions.
Board Member Roth, questions?
Oh, yeah. Do you mind clarifying what portion of the site wall stays on your site plan?
So this portion of the site wall is all remaining, all of this portion around here, and then we cut into it right here. That's where that new structure is going to be coming into play and extending a little bit south of it, a little bit past where the existing lower wall is as well, but then the existing wall comes back into existence on the other side.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was also wondering, I thought there was a site wall that was being cut into just on the driveway. No,
Up
on the
here?
other, yeah, actually the other,
This side?
no, actually, where the workshop is, where they're at the extent of the driveway.
Over here?
No.
Here, down lower?
Yeah, down lower to the, to the
Oh,
right.
well,
Yeah, all that.
there's an
Yeah.
existing opening right now to the
Mm-hmm.
other property,
Okay,
which we're actually filling in.
okay.
We're just going to continue the existing wall. That was part of it's actually part of the other permit that I believe that we remedied under, so that's under 25 BDP, or
Oh.
BLD.
Okay.
The 2 properties used to belong to the same owner,
Oh.
but we bought this one. The other one is now separate,
Oh.
so we're filling up the gap.
Oh, gotcha.
But that's on the other permit.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's all my, oh, actually, another question. I noticed, and the existing house has like maroon or burgundy colored windows, and then are you proposing like
We will
green?
match.
Oh, you're gonna match?
We will match what
Oh,
we
okay.
have.
Okay, sounds good.
Board Member Richards, questions?
Yeah, if you could go back to, well, maybe it works better to, on the roof plan of that structure. I'm just trying to understand, it looks like there's like a floating railing above the garage, but I'm just trying to figure out where that turns back and ties into
So
everything.
this is what you're talking about right there. You can see it.
think so,
It's-
yeah.
It's right there. So we're going to plan to have landscaping that's going to act as a buffer to keep you from getting too close to the edge to fall over here, because this is where that existing parapet is. We're trying to hold it back, just so it's not like just right on the edge. We wanted to kind of give it a little bit of a buffer. These may need to return back, but it's a question of where would they technically die, because technically you only need to have that railing within 36 inches of that fall zone. So and we were planning again to use landscaping, maybe some
help.
turning landscaping to help kind of keep people from going over and getting too close to that edge.
Okay. And then, do you have a gate for, like, what's kind of the pool protection situation?
There's going to be, we're going to have to rework the existing, because right now there's a continuous fence right here, a gate, pool fence. We will be needing to do a new one here. We may end up actually having to add one at the top of the steps as well, too, to keep people from going, getting that full 5-foot protection all the way around.
So-
We haven't fully developed it.
Okay. Yeah, because I think that's something you need to study, because the gate can't swing over stairs and it needs to swing away from the path of the pool, so.
It could swing in, but again, it's a matter of then we're going to need to continue. We will
Work
iron
that out,
in
yeah.
more detail,
Perfect.
yes.
Yeah, just something to think about, so. Yeah, those are my questions.
Access to roof. Is it a roof deck or not?
It's planted out, so it will have some access to it too. They will be able to walk on the back portion
How do you
here.
get to it? How do you get to the?
It's walk off right
Oh,
here.
it's walk off right
Yeah,
there.
it's walk on actually.
So it's a green roof, but it is a roof deck.
Correct.
Which is
Correct.
why you're adding the railing for safety. Okay.
Exactly.
Comments, Board Member Graffiti.
Not too many supportive of the project. I think for me, I know the existing site walls are taller, so just, next time maybe we can talk through the landscaping plan. And it's not really visible to the public. It's modest in size. It's a guideline FAR, so looking forward to seeing like the materials and kind of all the grading and everything for the driveway, but otherwise I'm happy to be supportive.
Okay. Board Member.
Yeah, sure. Not much comments as well. I think it's a great improvement, and just for the sake of the project itself, because it's only visible from the house and the neighbor, I think it's worth studying the railings, like how they ends, like wraps, like that, like triangle railing that I asked. It might be visible from the neighbor or like from a sides inside the side that will be like a sore to the eye. So like think with like developing the railing and like of course developing the landscape plan that will help. And I think that's it. And we're looking forward to see like the landscape plan like moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Board Member Roth.
Yeah, I really like what you've done with the green roof and the doors and just how it fits in with the site walls. Just some minor comments. I would like to see, I know it's maybe cost prohibitive, but just having, instead of putting concrete, doing a more permeable driveway. And then the other item is, I feel like the railing on top of the workshop, it feels kind of floating. And I understand you wanted to keep landscaping around, but it's just, I think the railings on the sides, it just reads differently. So I was just wondering if you could study that so it feels more cohesive. So, but overall, great.
Thank you, Board Member Richards.
Yeah, I would just study that railing that's just running in a straight line. I think it turning back is going to help provide some protection for that stair and the drop between that top of the roof and the stair. And it will just make it feel more anchored. The other thing I'd want you to study is just make sure that the ceiling height that you're looking at, that 10 feet, is enough for a car lift and working on all of that stuff, so.
Sure, I can comment on that if you would
Oh,
like.
yeah, I'd love to.
If we go look, he has a very strict section, the height that we need to really work with that. So if you look at, this is not necessarily, the height of the interior is higher as it goes up back here.
Okay.
We still have our 12 inches of soil, what we're trying to keep a minimum of. So it actually is higher inside for him to be able to work with the.
Great. Sounds like it's been thought about, so.
Yes, it's
Wonderful.
11 feet, even 11-foot clear inside is what we're shooting for.
Cool.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
See it, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this would be a motion for an indefinite continuance back to the full board with the following comments, that the board is supportive of the proposed garage, and the board encourages the applicant to study the railing above the garage and the interface of the railing to the plaster walls for a more integrated design, including any returns of that railing for safety. And the board looks forward to the applicant providing any additional landscaping that is going to be proposed. And that's my motion.
Comments on the grading model.
I'm sorry?
Comments on the grading model.
Yeah, I was just about to make that comment as well. Thank you. But yeah, just if the board finds it fit. So I was able to look at the plans, and on the grading plans, it does show a cut of about 630 cubic yards and a fill of 130 for earthwork, and about 300 or so for the building footprint. So one project's reach 500 cubic yards of grading in the Hillside Design District with the 15% or more slope. In the guidelines, it says that a 3D model will be provided for the board to review to see the impacts to the hillside. And so as a part of this hearing as well is to make a motion that that 3D model isn't required for your further project design approval findings.
Does the board feel that the 3D model is going to help them make a decision on whether or not they can support the grading?
No.
The next comment would be that the board feels that the requirement to provide a 3D model of the proposed grading would not be necessary for this project, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Thank you.
Dawn, did you want to include in the motion regarding making the concrete in the driveway permeable, or is it just a suggestion?
I kind of left that out on purpose because
Okay.
they're still resolving what
They're still
the
resolving?
driveway
Okay.
is going to be, and
Okay.
it's so soon.
Okay.
It's so early in the process. I
Yeah.
thought I left that
Okay.
out.
Sounds good.
Do we have a seconder?
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Board Member Wolf,
Yes.
Board Member Richards,
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
Vice Chair Moslehi.
Yes.
And Chair Sherrick.
Yes.
And the motion passes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item 3, which is 1225 Calle Cerrito Alto. This is a proposal for a 389 square foot first-story addition and a 204 square foot second-story addition to an existing 2,842 square foot home with an attached 480 square foot garage. A remodel of the home is proposed with new siding, windows, doors, and roof, along with site work, fencing, paving, and hardscape improvements. The total proposed 3,435 square feet on an 88,132 square foot lot is 62% of the maximum guideline floor area ratio. No final appealable decision will take place at this hearing. Neighborhood preservation findings and Hillside Design District and slope lot findings will be required when the project is reviewed for project design approval. Your name for the record.
Madam Chair, members of the commission, hey, Lauren. My name is Michael Holliday. The project architects with me is Eric Holliday, our son, new transplant here in Santa Barbara after 12 years with the big boys down south, so he's coming to learn how we do it here in Santa Barbara. Anyway, we're excited to be here today.
And
This-
just before you start your presentation, I did just want to make staff comments and just a note for the board that this is a pre-application consultation. The applicant is already working on submitting a full planning case, and it has been accepted, and it is currently routed and under review. But the plans we're looking at today have not been reviewed for code compliance at all. One thing I did want to note is that the floor area on the plans is incorrect for the floor area ratio percentage. I think it's shown at 12%. but it is 62%, as noted in the scope of work. So I just wanted to give that note for your review. And again, just broad comments, and thank you.
Thanks.
So, yeah, the proposal today is for, is 1225 Calle Cerrito Alto. It's 389 square feet addition to the first floor and 204 square foot second story addition. Yeah, it's listed on here as 62% of the maximum FAR, so I think that's correct. Essentially, it's a remodel of the existing home with new siding where necessary, windows, doors, roof. We'll talk about that, along with site work, fencing, and paving and some hardscape improvements. So we're here for concept. And I'll just kind of walk you through the plans. So this is, there's some better elevations here we'll go to. So just to orient you to the site a little bit, so zoom in here a little bit. So this is on this, it's a really sort of beautiful, amazing views of Santa Barbara. I don't know if I've been in that area before, but you get these amazing views back to the east. So very large site, one of the largest properties in the area, which is why our clients really want to do the right thing. This image right here probably shows it better. You're kind of up here on this promontory, but pretty much surrounded by trees and landscapes. So the house is, you know, it's visible from some of the areas, but I'll wrap up here with our clients met with all the neighbors in the area, and they've all been supportive of the project. So we'll talk about those letters that we've received. Next slide just shows a little bit more zoom into the site. So although it's a pretty amazing property, it's almost like a tract home that they built up there on the top of this promontory point. So we're really trying to reposition the house so that it really is more compatible with the siting in the area. There's been a couple improvements to the property over the years that have been really inconsistent with. Let me see if I can. Yes, you can see this sort of half a gable roof. We're gonna try to. This is over the garage right here in the proposal we're going to show you today. We've cleaned this up, and there's another addition to the other piece. This little piece was added without permits, which is one of the things we're going to do is clean this up. But you can see it's sort of an addition to the house. Here's the street view from the east looking back. Sort of amazing site area, but you can see sort of these single gable roofs. From the roadway, you really can't see much. This is the view from the driveway. Actually, this is probably a better view looking out there at the end. So they're kind of out at the end of a cul-de-sac. And zooming back out here. These are some of the inspirational images. This is where we're going with the overall design. Sort of very clean, simple, straightforward repositioning of the existing structure. And this is some of the interiors, kind of a clean, modern look. We've had it surveyed, really large site, and kind of just walk you through what we're changing. So these are all existing drawings that we've got built Revit. You can see how kind of fussy and messy this existing roof plan is. There's kind of a lot of things going on there. This is all existing. And the demo plan, we're totally redoing the interior of the house and pretty much leaving most of the exterior of the house the way it is, but the red shows the roofing areas that we're proposing to renovate and remodel, and then this is the new roof plan. So we're just cleaning up this sort of the gable end roof structure, and this is the existing two-car garage that we want to remove the ADU, or we're going to add an ADU up on the second floor above the garage. We'll show you what that looks like in a second. And then here's the sort of clean roof form that we're going to add. Interior, just you will really opening it up and keeping with the sort of mass bulk and scale of the overall house, but just making the interior floor plan work a lot better. And there's a roof plan. And then there's a second floor, a little ADU addition that we're going to do over the second floor, and kind of gives you a sense for what the overall. There's a roof plan for the overall site. Existing elevations, we can look at these if you've got some questions. Here, let me zoom in and just sort of show you what we're looking at this is the Revit elevation, and then we just sort of did a little hand-drawn elevation on the front. So just trying to clean it up. The roof line here is our ideal is that we're going to keep it this way and have a clear story roof looking into the interior, and then this would be the front elevation.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Somebody's calling in.
Yeah, I haven't seen that before. I've never heard that
Calling-
before.
Somebody's calling who?
But we don't allow it, so.
Somebody's calling the computer? Just put it on mute.
Yeah, that's what we're
Please.
trying to figure out.
We won't be answering that. I'll keep going. This is the front of the house. We're just, again, cleaning it up a little bit, and really just the roof lines are trying to be made a little bit more compatible. On this is the interior elevation, sort of east elevation looking. This is the new garage door with the new ADU over the top of that. Pretty much, the windows are going to be shifting around a little bit, so a lot has happened from this concept package to what we're working on right now, which is our future PDA package. But overall mass, bulk, and scale is hopefully staying the same. And there's a side elevation that no one can see. We haven't even seen this elevation because it's facing out into the trees. So we got all the Revit elevations and call-outs. As far as materiality, we're hoping to be able to go with a standing seam metal roof, but now we've just gotten the contractor involved dealing with budget realities, and so it looks like it's going to be an architectural grade asphalt shingle, probably this charcoal color. All the gutter will be integral, kind of like a matte black. We're going to go with a very clean, kind of understated exterior, and then clean, kind of contemporary light fixtures, wood doors, all the windows getting replaced, which will be a darker, kind of a charcoal glazing. And then the whole exterior of the house will be painted the same color, kind of an off-white, consistent with some of that visual imagery that we showed you. And so that's the last page of that. One thing that's been great, our client, Hunter Parker Rusak, has went out and met with all of his neighbors, which I encourage him to do because the city really supports the, friendly neighbor. And so the 3 letters have been submitted to this. He's met with more, but at least 3 people submitted. He goes, I strongly support the approved renovations and additions. I'm not going to read all the rest of it. I support the application by my neighbor. The design looks beautiful, will make our neighborhood an even better place. And the immediate neighbor, this project is compatible with the neighborhood, and the requested improvements are necessary and supportable from my perspective as his immediate neighbor. So that concludes our conceptual presentation.
Thank you. We'll move on to public comment.
Okay, here we go. And I'm going to start with in-person public comment. I have not received any speaker slips for this particular item. Upon checking Zoom, I do not see any raised hands. And we did receive 2 pieces of public correspondence, which I believe the applicant mentioned. And that was from Rob Cohorst and also from Anna and Michael Probstel. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, questions from the board. Board Member Richards.
Sure. Can I see that second floor plan where the ADU is? Okay. All right, so you've got a window in that bathroom, and then you've got one by the tub.
Yeah.
Had you considered possibly doing a skylight above the tub? That window just on that elevation looks a little funny. To me, at least.
Go back to my elevation here. Oh, this window right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be something. We actually we're looking at doing a balcony here that would help the proportions on this. We could look at that.
Something to address.
There's a
Just
pretty
that it
awesome
feels a
view,
little
so
funny
if
to
you
me.
could stand in the tub and be able to look out that view, it's worth seeing.
Yeah.
So, and there's no one up there. You're literally at the end of the driveway, so it's not like anybody's looking in.
Yeah. Okay.
For all those people that stand in the tub.
We'll set that height
kidding.
just right.
Yeah, that's my only question. So.
Board Member Roth, questions?
Yeah, do you mind showing me the west elevation? Oh, okay. So, one thing I was wondering, as I see there's the the roof forms, I see like there's a break in like the roofs in the first floor, and I was wondering if is it possible to continue it on the same plane, or
Which roof element here?
yeah, kind of right there where
This,
there's
this one right here?
yeah. But is that no, it's kind of by like grid line 3 to the left of that. I was just
We
wondering.
go look at the roof plan, maybe that's a better place to.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah, it is
yeah.
offset. That's,
Yeah, it is.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the
okay,
whole,
cool.
let me,
Thank you.
no, we're not. There we go. Yeah, here's the roof plan. You can see how this piece is offset.
Oh, I see.
So we
Yeah,
tried to clean
yeah.
this up. I mean, this
Yeah.
is sort of the cleanest, simplest
Yeah.
roof line we could come up with,
Yeah.
especially given
agree.
what we're working with. So
Yeah,
yeah, this
that
whole
makes
piece
sense.
is broken from that element. So this comes up and comes back down.
Yeah.
We tried to clean it up.
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense. Yeah, that's my only question. Thank you.
Board Member Mosley, your questions?
Yes. Can you go to your north elevation, please? The sketched one shows better.
See, is this one?
No. It's like
East,
up. That's like
south.
north. I think it's the page. What's the page number?
gonna
It's
be
like
right
the
up here.
first one.
Okay.
No, yes, the
Yeah, oh,
first
sorry.
one that you have like colored. Yes. So on the upper story, if you zoom in, or it shows here, the upper story windows, the head height of them. How does it work with the eaves? Like, is it like plaster above it, or is it an overhang that we're not seeing?
Right
Yes.
here you're looking at?
Yeah. How do you resolve?
Really
Yeah.
close.
What is that?
You mean for the second floor addition and the window height right here?
Yes, exactly. That corner.
Yeah, I think these windows are set at 7.0, and so we're just trying to keep that roof as low as we can. Could go up a little bit. I mean, we're really actually kind of studying. You're talking about this condition right there?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, probably could use something there, but it'd push it up another foot. We're up against the height of that. See these roofs right here? The roof comes up and comes down, so we're trying to get some window there. But sort of good point. You know, maybe
Yeah.
this has to
I'm
push
sure you'll
itself
find
up a little bit.
solution.
Yeah.
And now that we're here, what's that on the lower level? Is it the tall window like on the right side? Right.
Oh, this one right here?
Is it a fixed window?
Yeah, it's a fixed window that's right at the end of a hallway.
Yeah.
And there's a killer view right out that hallway.
Okay.
So when you
That's
walk down,
why the head height of it is
yeah,
like
you
kind
want
of
to
like.
walk down that hallway, you feel like you're walking out into the
Yeah.
valley.
That was my only question. Yeah.
Board Member Gaffardi?
My only question is, I know we're early, but will any new landscaping be proposed?
Yeah, we're bringing that in next when we come back. We just got our landscape architect on board, so we're going to be coming in with some, pretty nice improvement plans, but it'll be, consistent, drought tolerant, and kind of working with what's there, because a lot of it has been grown in over time. But Blue Studios, who we're working with, so Guillermo and Krista will be here with us, so
Nice.
they're going to do a nice job for us.
Okay, comments from the board. Board Member Richards, would you like to?
Sure, yeah. I think it's a really attractive project, and I appreciate all the moves that you're making to really clean up the house. I do think if you ran a balcony over that face, I'd have no problem with that window in the
Yep.
shower. I think it would be great, just gorgeous. So, thank you.
Board Member Roth?
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful project. I like the architecture. I don't really have too many comments. Like what Board Member Richard said, I think the balcony on the second story plane would be helpful. And I just appreciate I like all the glazing and the the roof, or sorry, above all the doors. The triangular pieces there. I really like that. Yeah, and I know we're not reviewing interiors, but I like how everything's cohesive too. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a great improvement to the existing house. It's going to be a great addition to the neighborhood. I know it's not visible from somewhere, but it's up on the hill, so it's visible from aerial view. It's going to be a great addition to the aerial view of Santa Barbara. And my only comment, that was my question, was that I'm sure you'll find a solution for that upper story windows on the north elevation. I mean, like everything else, like all the windows seems like to be resolved, and like the only other one was the board member Richard's comment about the bathroom windows, but that's the only one that I'm seeing at this level of like concept, so I'm sure you'll find a solution. Looking forward to see like the next steps and the landscape design and everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Graffitti.
Yeah,
Comments?
agree with everything that's been said. I think it's a great project and a great improvement. Appreciate that the applicant engaged with the neighbors as well. Super modest height. I think the comment about the balcony is great, supportive of that. And then you could even consider some sort of taller landscaping element under that window if you want to break up any of that massing as well. So looking forward to that plan. And yeah, it's more cohesive. I love all the design. So I don't know, it's a pre-application, so I don't know if it has to come back to our full board, but also would consider it going to consent.
Okay. Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so unfortunately, the motion would be to continue indefinitely, and it wouldn't necessarily be to full board or to consent. But in the motion, if you would like to comment that the current design seems, you can make a recommendation that it be scheduled for consent. Staff can take that into consideration, and I can schedule it for consent for the planning case, if you guys want to include that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a nice project, and I don't have anything else to add, other than I think everybody's already said the resolution of the upper level windows, both the relationship of the header on the, whatever that elevation is.
Yeah, north elevation.
To the rake, and then the other windows, like the bathroom window proportion, and just a resolution of the upper level windows is my only comment. I don't think your light fixture is dark sky compliant. You might want to check that because the bulb is exposed and you can see it. And I
Yeah,
don't think
these would
it'll
be downlight fixtures, so well, but granted, they will have to be dark sky compliant.
Yeah, and that one's not. I'm just, it's not, I don't think it.
Yeah, if you can see the bulb, it's not dark sky
Yeah,
compliant.
so you might want to look at that. It's always a challenge trying to find a dark sky compliant contemporary.
Nice-looking fixture.
Sconce that's nice looking. So does somebody want to take a stab at a motion for definite continuance and mention if they feel that the board feels that this project might be a candidate for moving on to the consent calendar?
I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. The board supports the project and indefinite continuous to the consent calendar.
Well, you can't have that.
We could say,
as a comment,
the board
okay.
feels that the project
Okay.
could
Yeah, okay.
be transferred over to the consent
Okay.
calendar.
Okay, so I move to continue the project with the following comments, that the board appreciate the improvement to the existing house and encourage the applicant to study the north elevation window head and south elevation window, south elevation upper story windows and the articulation of the windows and adding a balcony, or other suggestion that might be adding landscape. And the board looking forward to see the landscape plans. And the board recommends the applicant to make sure the exterior lighting fixtures are dark sky compliant. And the board is in agreement that we can see this project at the next hearing on a consent calendar.
Do I have a seconder for the
I'll
motion?
second that motion.
Could I ask a quick question real quick in the middle? We're working with the contractor right now on value engineering this, and if there's any, we may not be able to do the second floor addition as far as a phase 2. So if some of the roof line needs to be modified to leave this, I don't know, we're wanting this to achieve this overall vision, and that's why we're presenting it this way. So I don't know how you guys deal with that on from a design review perspective, but.
Right
that's
now,
just-
we're reviewing what we're seeing in front of us, but
that's all you
if you
can do.
decide to remove the second floor, I'm sure that you'll come up with a roof plan that makes sense for that.
Yeah, it'll be existing to remain. We can't do it
Yeah,
now, we'll
yeah.
do it later in the
Yeah.
future, you know?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's fine too.
here we
Okay,
go.
Okay. Board Member Ralph,
Yes.
Board Member Richards,
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
Vice Chair Mosley.
Yes.
And Chair Sherry.
Yes.
Yes, the motion passes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
you.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome
Yeah.
to Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back. Okay, moving on to our last item, number 4, which is 325 Salida del Sol. This is a proposal for 100 and, do we have an applicant here for Salida del Sol? Oh, good. Proposal for 173 square foot single-story addition and a new 783 square foot second story to a 1,519 square foot single-story home with an attached 421 square foot two-car garage. A 142 square foot deck overlooking the front street is proposed. A remodel of the home with new siding, windows, doors, roof, lighting, and garage doors is proposed. A new front yard wall is also proposed. The total proposed 2,896 square feet on an 8,276 square foot lot is 89% of the maximum required floor area ratio. No appealable decision will take place at this hearing. MPO findings will be required when the project is reviewed for project design approval. Your name for the record.
Shava Riley. And this is
Randy Patman.
He is the owner, and I'm the designer and agent.
Great. Oh, yeah, just make sure your microphones are on.
Mine's on.
And I did just have some staff comment to make. So as you'll note in the project description, the FAR is over 85%. And so if the board could consider an FAR waiver during the pre-application consultation with comments related to that, that would be appreciated. And my second note is in response to the public comment letter that we received. Board has already had access to that and read that letter. There were notes specifically about private view impacts and ocean view impacts and impacts to time of construction during times of the day. I just wanted to clarify for the public and then for the board as well that those regulations are not under purview of the board and that the board can't condition a project for construction times and what's allowable and what's not. It's dictated by building and safety, and that private views are not something under the purview of the board, but public views are. So just wanted to provide that clarification. And yeah, this project is just here for a pre-application consultation. So we're just looking for broad comments on mass, bulk, and scale, and whatever further details you can provide. Thank you.
Okay, that helps because it doesn't say like the other ones, it doesn't say that this is a pre-application consultation.
Ah.
It said it for the other ones, and then it doesn't say it for this one. So
Oh, okay.
This is a pre-consultation.
Yes, it is.
pre-application
Yeah, it is scheduled as a pre-application consultation, and
consultation. That's the previous one.
no, it's this one as well. Yeah, they're both yeah, so they're noted in item 3, the header. Yeah, they're both pre-application
That's
consultations.
kind of weird. Can you make sure that it's included in the project description? Because
Yes.
I'll start to read the project description at the number.
Oh, got it.
So I haven't been reading that because I'm starting my presentation by reading at the number. So I would have not caught that, just FYI. for
Okay, no,
clarification.
thank you for the clarification. That's helpful. Well, we'll be
And
sure
one more
to.
clarification, Sebastian, is why are we asking for a floor area ratio waiver? Because this is 89%?
Correct. It's over that 85% of the required floor
But
area
85
ratio.
is not required, it's a guideline.
Uh,
Even for required even for required FARs, the 85% is a recommended guideline.
Right. So, so when there is a project over 85% for the zoning regulations, that it requires a zoning modification. If it's in the hillside design district, I believe over a 20% slope and over a specific height, this building isn't meeting the zoning modification requirements to go over 85% FAR. But for the SFDB guidelines, when the FAR is over 85% of the required floor area ratio. It does require the 20 lot closest home survey.
Oh,
It
you're asking
requires
for a
the-
waiver for the additional
Correct.
submittal information?
Correct,
Not
yeah.
for a waiver of the,
Oh, yes,
because
yeah.
you said that we're looking for a waiver for the FAR.
Yes,
That's not
so-
what you mean.
Yes, so what yes, thank you for the clarification, the clarifying questions.
Supplemental information is what we're looking
Correct,
for.
yes, the
Okay,
waiver
just
of the
so everybody's clear
supplemental
on that.
information, yes. Thank you for the clarifying questions.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, hi. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I just wanted to preface that this is a house that Randy and his wife, Ariana, and their family are looking forward to renovating to create the ideal living environment for their family, as well as his needs for working from home as we review the floor plan. So in keeping, well, I'll start with the floor plan first. So this is the existing floor plan that we're starting with. It's limited in that it doesn't have the dining room they would like or an office, and they're expanding family of 2 kids currently and their primary suite. So what we've done for the floor plan is created an entry area, an office, the dining area, and they would really like to keep the bedrooms on the one side of the house. So on the left side of the house, we decided to create the lower bedrooms with the bathroom for the children, and then going upstairs to the primary suite, a nice bathroom and walk-in shower, and then the final bedroom for their needs. And if we look at the elevations, we've decided in looking in the neighborhood, and I'll go back to some neighborhood compatibility pictures to start. It seems that a lot of the houses on the Mesa have the second story on half of the house to just create less of a mass. And so we wanted to be mindful of that, as well as there seems to be front decks located so that we're not looking over the neighbors' backyards. So with our floor plan, we decided this is Salida del Sol, the street right here. And so the deck is actually in the front, so you wouldn't be looking into anybody's yard. You would just be out towards the street orientation. And then you can see here on the west elevation, it's just one big swath of roof. So we thought cutting it up would be nice to preserve a little bit of recessing and height difference. And this would be the front facing Salida del Sol as well. This is where the primary bedroom would be, and keeping the garage. The existing roof height ridge is 8'4", and at the peak of our proposed, or 18 feet 4 inches, sorry. And the peak of our new roof peak would be 21.9. So it's a difference of approximately 3 feet in height. And this pop-up or addition is 38% of the entire front elevation of the property. So we're at less than 50%. And we've decided to go with colors in keeping with the neighborhood. Very simple, clean lines, a little more of a modern update. You can see I can switch back to the house as it is existing. It's ready for a refresh. I'll go back to those pictures now just to show. You can see that the roof is very large compared to the small part of the house it's showing. Just bringing a little bit more of a modern, updated feel. Keeping the fireplace would be something they'd like to do as well. We're not really changing the roof plan that much. We are, if you look at the roof plan right here, We would just be we're adding volume in this existing roof space here in the attic, and we're basically coming up at this part of the house, right here. And this is from the track map that I was able to get in the archives. So this would be where we are increasing the second floor, and this shows and demonstrates that this is the neighbor's front yard driveway, the little deck we're proposing is right here. And wouldn't be looking into any doors, windows. This is their garage and this is their driveway. So in keeping with the good neighbor policy, we're trying to adhere to that. And I believe that there was comment about this back window. This window is 4 feet high and 3 feet wide, which we did the larger window on the side. So that obviously egress and things like that, and have some nice flow for air. And we are planning to match the colors that are existing on the current home, so there's no dramatic changes, keeping the same color of the roof, and doing a darker casement for the windows. Which you can see there. Randy, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Nothing to add, I don't think. We did everything and tried to be compatible as much as we could and be friendly neighbors. So I think we've kind of done a good job there.
All right, we are moving on to public comment. Thank you.
Okay, we do have one speaker slip for Ken Boxer. And if he can make his way up to the podium and address the board. Thank you.
I'm Ken Boxer. I don't own the property at 1810 El Faro. Daria Boxer owns that property. Was she the one who wrote that letter that you were purporting?
I believe
Is
the
your
last
mic
name was
on,
Boxer.
Ken? Is your mic on?
Is it?
Is there a green light on?
Yes.
Okay, just speak into the mic a
Oh,
little
can you hear me better now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You mentioned all the things that were outlined, but the one thing that, the good neighbor policy that Daria was really wanting to emphasize was that in their backyard, there's a proposed window on the second floor that's going to go directly into their backyard. So she's asking that in some way that can be moved, so it's not directly in the backyard. Because she said had she known that that window was there, she wouldn't have bought the property because it would go right into their privacy. I know that's an issue that you said you're not really, is in your purview, but if we have the architect or the designer here, they might be able to hear that. That's all I have to say.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And then, Chair Sherry, if I could take a moment to provide some clarity on my comments.
Yeah.
If that's okay. My comments weren't necessarily addressing the privacy impacts of the windows on people's backyards. That's exactly what this hearing is for, is to get those comments and receive feedback and adjust the design that's comprehensive to the neighborhood. What I wanted to clarify is that I believe in the letter it said it would impact private views of the ocean. And so that's a comment that we frequently get, especially in the Mesa and things like that. And so I just wanted to clarify for the board and then also for the public that the board doesn't have purview over maintaining people's ocean views. So just wanted to clarify that for purview, but thank you for your comment. Thanks.
Okay, questions from the board. Board Member Muslihi, do you have any questions?
Sure.
Excuse me, are we done with public comment,
I'm
Ms. Gu?
sorry.
Yes, I'm checking Zoom. There are no raised hands. And that is the only public comment other than what was mentioned from Dario
Thanks,
Boxer.
sorry,
Thank you.
Kathy.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, my first question would be the second story addition is aligned with the first story on the south side? So it's 6 feet, it's at the 6 feet setback, or?
Yes.
Is it
Yes,
further
yes.
than that, or 6?
No,
It's at the 6.
It's in line with it. Sorry, this mic's a little touchy. There we go. Yes, it's in line with it.
Okay. Can we go to your east elevation, proposed east elevation,
Yes.
please?
Okay.
So my first comment, can you zoom in a little bit so that everybody can see? So on the first, the window on the lower, like I'm talking about the mass that you have the second story above. So the window on the lower level, it's not centered with the window above and the like the gable. Is that a reason for that, or you could do that?
I feel like we could do it. I just kept it in the space of the current window in the garage.
So that's like a little comment. And
Okay.
how about the window that it's upper level on the left side? It feels like there's no wall on the side of it. It's kind of like, I don't know how the detail will work. Is that a corner window?
Yes, yes, I was going to show
Can we
you.
look at that on the
Yep,
floor plan?
absolutely. That's what I was going to just go to. It's a little, yep, there we go. It's so that when you walk into the bedroom, you're just not walking straight into a wall. It's kind of like inviting. So it's upstairs, and this is the particular window you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, on the elevation, it's kind of like narrow wall on the
Mm-hmm.
side, so just like, just a recommendation to resolve that
Okay.
corner. And can we go now to your, what's the back? Elevation, not east, sorry, west elevation, please. So this is the same situation. I believe that window number 1, which is the upper story window, is the window that the neighbor is
Yes.
talking about. So first thing is that is not, again, centered with your like roof. And I don't know if that is a reason for that. And we'll talk about, like, I'm curious to hear from other board members about the location and the head height of that. Now that we're on this elevation, has there anything changed to the mass of the chimney, to the existing
No.
chimney, or how about the material?
No,
Yeah.
as is.
Okay, for now, these are all my questions.
Board Member Ruff, questions?
Yeah, I see you're using, I think, stucco and like hardy panel.
Yes.
Can you kind of walk me through your decision on where you've put the hardy panel versus stucco? I see it here, but
Yeah. So we've just decided to do two different materials to create a little bit more depth and texturalization of the building, of the home.
Yeah.
And so we've taken the larger areas and just gone with the stucco and enhanced the areas of the front. Currently, let's see here. Currently, it's stucco, and so we wanted to preserve some of that. And then they really liked the hardy siding, the longevity. And so we went with that, still leaving some of the stucco integrity, and then a newer building element would be brought in.
okay. Is there any? I don't think I see it here. But do they just meet at inside corners?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And then, can you walk me through your decision of placing the second story in the current spot?
Yes. So let's go to the floor plan. Okay, so we decided, because it was their request, because Randy does work from home, and they do have 2 children currently, and perhaps maybe a third. They wanted to create a space where Randy could go and work in quiet if he needed to get up early or late, or where there would be no disturbance on the quarters where the the kids and would live, and then the dining room. So that left us this side area to build up the second story. Capturing the space over the garage, we thought would be very nice, instead of building a huge, massive structure that takes over the whole, line sight from the front elevation. We could accomplish getting that square footage in, 38% of the home, and instead of 100% over this. I'll show you the elevations here. Instead of just going directly up, we thought just going up
Yeah.
would still accomplish getting the square footage in the rooms necessary and still leaving a nice break in the mass of the home from the front elevation.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's all my questions. Thank
Okay,
you.
of course.
Board Member Richards, questions?
Sure. Do you know when the house was originally built and if that chimney is reinforced, or do you think it's just original to the house?
I don't know when the chimney was built. However, I do have the archive plans not in this file, and it is original to the house, and I've already given that to the structural engineer. So I absolutely could get you that information because I do have some specs, but I just don't have that with me.
No, that's fine. I asked because typically, unreinforced chimneys need to be taken down to the fire box. So you might have the opportunity to change the materiality of that structure when you rebuild the flue. Okay. So it seems like on some of the elevations, like you're changing material at a exterior corner. Is that, am I right in seeing that?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And then the hallway for the second floor, as it chases down the side, is there a reason that isn't just one big mass that runs the length and it steps and you end up with that little kind of sliver of a balcony on the second floor?
Instead of a balcony like this?
Well,
Is that what you're-
it seems like that bedroom tucks in, and I was wondering why the rest of the mass stays out towards the exterior wall.
So this, you're talking about this recess right here?
Yeah, and
It's basically for the view.
it's for the view.
Yeah, so the view is actually down this way. So they were hoping to capture some of the view here, and if they wanted to come out and have coffee or something like that. And since this is on the neighbor side, keeping this smaller, once again, to not, be looking into someone's property, and the larger area up here where it's just going towards the street.
Okay. While we're looking at that second floor balcony, it looked like on your elevations, the roof line projected out, and you had two columns. Was that, but I'm not seeing that on the plan, which is more accurate.
So it does project out, however, it doesn't project out to be covered. It's just, it comes out a little further. It's not meant to be a covered patio. It's just a detail we wanted to add to the elevation, so that's why it's not on the floor plan. It's just this element right here.
But are those
Yeah,
columns?
yes, they are.
Okay.
Questions, Board Member Graffiti?
Okay, just wanted to confirm the height to the top of the highest ridge line is 21 feet 9 inches. it looks
Yes.
like per plan?
Yes.
Okay. And then how far I don't know if you'd have an idea. I know this is interesting measurement, but just out of curiosity, ballpark, the window from the back that the neighbor's concerned about to the property line.
Let's look at the
don't know if
site plan real
yeah.
quick here. Okay.
Okay, so
Here's the archived. I don't know if we can zoom in on this. Oops. Nope. I was trying to move it with my finger. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I can't get there quickly. I would say it's over, 20 feet. Do you
Yeah.
have an idea, Randy?
Do you want a ballpark number?
yeah, like a ball.
Yeah, it's between 15 and 22 feet.
Okay, just looking at the 6-foot setback, it almost looks like more than that. I just was trying to get an
Yeah.
idea. And then is there any existing vegetation back there?
Yeah, actually,
Okay.
I was going to mention that you can see this existing big tree right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't have an aerial view, but this tree is actually in the person who had the comments backyard in the
Okay.
corner.
Okay, and then what about on the left side of that, in the backyard, in applicant's backyard?
That tree's no longer there.
Oh.
Okay.
Are you looking to this corner right here?
I'm just curious along the back fence line of the yard, if
So
there's
this
any
would be
hedges or anything.
Yeah, so this is the back fence line as
Okay.
existing. So there's
Okay.
this house, which I believe would be directly behind the
Okay.
person
Okay.
with the comment.
Got it.
And then this would have been, so if you would have
Okay.
just scanned over this tree that's been taken
Okay.
down, used to be there.
Okay. Let me see. Oh, and then can you just go
You
to?
can kind of see it better here. Sorry.
Gotcha. Yeah, helpful. Can you, well, two questions. One, can you pull up the lighting page? Or it's just the materials
It's just
page,
the
I think?
material,
And
yeah.
then are those just different options or are those three
Yeah,
different
we-
recommendations? Okay.
Yeah, kind of, well, we do have them placed in different spaces.
Okay.
So that we have the ones that are particularly downlit higher, and then the ones for the entryway, right here, to your point.
Okay.
Zoom out real quick here, right here. So these are downlit,
Okay.
in front of the garage area,
Got it.
and this would be more at the entry.
Okay.
It's something in this style.
Okay, got it. And then, yeah, do you have just like can you go back to the rendering just of the front? There we go. And I know we have different materials and it sounds like chimney possible to change, but what kind of architectural style are you classifying this as?
I would say updated beach home, yeah, just kind of
Okay.
a beach home refresh,
Cool.
very in keeping with the Mesa
Yeah.
vibes.
Okay. I think that's it for my questions.
I had a couple. Maybe this was already answered, but why did you break up the roofs between, if you're looking at the proposed north elevation, the front element that faces the street is higher than the back? So why not just continue?
It was
Because it's
based,
so close.
it was honestly for the FAR. And to meet this, see how the garage, we just are going straight up from the garage line. The first, and then we just recessed it back to keep the floor area in keeping with our recommendation. We didn't, if we didn't go straight up, then it would have a notch out here above you see that on the proposed east elevation? See that right there?
Yeah, do you have a roof plan?
There it is, right there.
Okay, I
So we,
understand.
yeah, we tried to stay within the boundaries of the floor area, but then built straight up on the existing posts, footings, et cetera.
And the plate is 8'9"?
We want a 9-foot plate on the upstairs and an 8-foot plate on the lower unit.
It says 8 feet, 8 inches on one of your elevations. I'm just trying to,
Yes, it's meant to be 9 feet,
so that's wrong.
correct?
It's a typo.
Yes,
So you want 9 feet on the second story?
yes.
And, okay. Comments, Board Member Graffiti?
You want me to kick it off?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
I think there's a lot of great elements to the project, and I think it would definitely be an improvement to what's currently there. A few comments, I think, let's see. Well, one, I think the 21.9 is a very modest height, and our board typically recommends a max of 25 feet, but there's a max of 30 feet. So I think I know there's a lot of talk of views and privacy and all of that. I also think just given the location of the window and how far it is from the property line, I don't have any concerns with privacy from that. It might be a mutually beneficial to take a look at adding some sort of vegetation, hedging or tree or something like that. I'd like to see some of the lighting. I wasn't clear if it was night sky compliant. There was one specifically that shot up light top and down. And so I would just want you to take another look at that, as well as it sounds like the paint colors to match existing. Just make sure that's a warm white. It's kind of hard to tell from photos. Let me continue through comments. One thing, I know we're here so early pre-application, in terms of FAR in general, I'm supportive of size, bulk, and scale. I know you talked about a lot of different conditions on the Mesa. It's a challenge because the Mesa was not developed necessarily with the most architecturally charming homes. I'm also a resident of the Mesa, so taking shots at myself as well. But some of the conditions you cited and the way the second story is stacked, some of that's permitted, some maybe unpermitted. So my comment is more around, I would want you to focus not necessarily on emulating just existing conditions, but doing what would follow our guidelines and also what makes sense for you. I think the deck is thoughtfully sited in the front, and it was helpful to understand on the other side of the fence, the neighbors. But the second story element, I think I could support it as is, but generally our board does like to see the second story brought more in to the center of the home versus along a property line, along that whole fence line. Again, a bulk of that is overlooking a driveway, but something to consider if there was an opportunity to orient that, just because generally that's what we push for in our guidebook. And then architectural style, I think, with the brick, the stucco, the siding, there's like modern elements with the front door and garage. I would just encourage you to continue to look at what kind of style do you want this to be. For sure, there's beach cottage on the Mesa and contemporary, but just kind of something that would bring it all together in a cohesive way. So again, overall, I'd be supportive of waiving the FAR just because I think the way it's cited is acceptable, but I'm curious to hear what the other board members think.
Okay, thank you. Board Member Mosley.
Sure. I think overall, it's a great improvement to the existing house. And I think I can support the FAR being over 85, and I think like a lot of houses on that street, they are already the situation and given the height that it's proposed. I was looking to see if you have a solar study, but doesn't matter that much because on the north side, there's not, the second story is on the south side, so, or yes, it's on the south, so it's not needed. So given the height of the overall height, I think the FAR is not an issue. One of the things that I'm struggling is the windows that we already talked about. I think like looking at all the windows, relationship of the first story and the second story, the rhythm of the windows, now that like the windows are upgrading, so now you have the opportunity to look at the relationship between them and the proportions of them, the size of them, and regarding the wall surrounding them. Some of them are like sometimes like feels like there's not that much enough like wall above it, or it's too small in relationship to the surrounding wall. I would like to see, I know this is like a pre-application, the railing and the awning. I see east elevation, there's a huge awning proposed. That will be an important piece of the project looking from the street. So these are the architectural detail that will be important for the project. One thing that I would recommend for a good guideline, a good neighbor guideline, is that when I look at Google Earth, at first I thought that large tree exists, and now that the neighbor clarified that it doesn't exist, still I look at it, there would be a very good helpful for the neighbors that you have a site plan that shows the distance of the proposed second story to the neighbor. We are like guessing that, but we don't know that. I think one of the closest neighbor will be 319 Salida del Sol. I don't know if you guys have talked with them or not, but for good neighbor guidelines, I think they are the most impacted neighbors, so it will be great to contact with them, and if they haven't seen the notice, for moving forward, get their support because they are the neighbor that they are very close. The balcony on the south side will facing their property. And I think now to Board Member Richard's comment about the chimney, now that you're doing this upgrade, I think it's time that you can upgrade that. It feels like the mass of it, like it's specific to the project from your backyard, but it becomes too narrow when it goes up, and maybe upgrade to the material. And I think that's it for me.
Okay. Board Member Roth.
Yeah, I like this project overall. I think the placement of the second story, it makes sense. And I like the garage door. I like certain elements like the doors. And regarding some additional feedback, I think the north elevation of the garage and the deck, I'd like that to be studied more. It just feels, with the guardrails there and the garage door, it doesn't, what's the word? It feels a little imbalanced. So that's just one thing. And then I'd like you to just, as they've been talking about, just study the window proportions and placements. And then also the overhang on the east elevation. I think it just feels a little bit too heavy. Maybe that could just be worked on more. I think more so just how wide it is. And then this is just another minor thing. Just how I think the garage door, I think it's with Hardy panel. You might want to study maybe that should be next to stucco. So just something to play with. And and then another thing too, I understand you were saying that there's going to be a portion of the deck to capture those really good views, and I was wondering about even the possibility of instead of jogging the walls, as you said, just putting, I don't know, a large window, because it might help with the roof forms, the simplicity of that. So just an idea. So that's all.
Thank you. Board Member Richards.
Yeah, sure. It's really helpful to make sure that the drawings are clean and consistent, and that what we see on the plan is represented on the elevations. I think that's been expressed with a lot of the members' kind of, confusion about window sizes and, having columns, not having columns, not seeing where things are overhanging and not.
Yeah.
So I'd encourage you to make sure that when you come back that everything's fully coordinated and we make sure that we're not having those same sort of questions. The other thing I would look for is some precedent imagery that kind of helps define kind of what the style of the house is. I think that'll be really helpful for us understanding it. For me, and I may be alone on this, I think a 9-foot plate above an 8 feels a little top heavy. I think you've got all the kind of room for that ceiling to vault and get the space and volume that you're looking for in those rooms. And it'll help bring down the overall kind of mass, especially with that piece projecting out, the awning projecting out, which is the highest point of your building towards the front of the street. And then I guess the last comment would be to really kind of study that second floor massing and where everything lines up. I think that could be simplified, and maybe you bring it back, that back half back after you kind of get up the stairs, because it seems like you're bringing out that entire floor just to accommodate the stair run up there. So study that. And I guess, last comment would be, I think, material should wrap the corner, and when you don't and it kind of stops, it feels like that, in my mind, Midwest track home where I grew up. So trying to keep a consistency of materiality and, give reason for why you're changing material, I think is going to be important as well. So.
Thank you, Board Member Richards. Yeah, I share the same comment as a couple of the board members mentioned about the massing of the east elevation. And there's sometimes when I feel like a 9-foot plate works with the architecture, but in this case, because it looks like you probably have a 6'8" header, it's exacerbating the massing between the header and the roof. And it's making the amount of siding and wall just disproportionate. And it looks like it's forcing the height. And I'm not necessarily opposed to a 9-foot plate height, but in this particular, especially the east elevation and also if you go to the west elevation, there's a lot of siding and a little bit of window, and there's a lot of siding above that window. So it's just not looking proportionate. And then if you go back to the east elevation, I want to point something out on that too, because you have the columns and they go all the way up to the fascia, and there's no, I don't know whether you're planning on having a flush beam at an angle that's meeting and a cantilevered beam at the ridge that's going to support that, but that's a covered patio that's not looking like it's easily supportable from a structural standpoint. And also that extension of that roof toward the front of the street is exacerbating the massing. So if you brought that upper level massing back, it's an east elevation, you're going to get morning sun, I understand that, but that's probably why you extended it out. But that in combination with the 9-foot plate is making it disproportionate, and if you sit on that balcony, you're going to feel like the roof is way up there. And I think that there's a better way that might be more architecturally appropriate to treat that front covered patio and solve your structural engineering problems at the same time, because the posts are going to be high, and they might look tall and spindly if you try to not have anything in between there. So that is, and then the windows proportions, especially on the south elevation, the breakups, I think you could work on you've got a horizontal window with it looks like a double hung in the bedroom that I think Board Member Rolfe mentioned. Could he be even a nicer, bigger window? That would be a good place to take advantage of the ocean views because it's not in anybody's backyard. The other windows have horizontal proportions. That's the window to the left of the long, narrow, tall window is, I don't know whether that's supposed to be a fixed window, but look at the breakups, how they operate, how you want the breakups to be, and then continue that theme throughout all the windows. And I'm okay, even though nobody from 319 has shown up. The reason that I would be okay with the sizes of the windows that you have on the south elevation is because if you look at the floor plan, you're passing the window and you're not spending necessarily time at the window. If you go to the upper level floor plan, that bedroom 4, you have to walk past the window to get to the bedroom. So I'm okay with that, especially if 319 is okay with it, and it was recommended to reach out to them. So that there's no surprises when you start building.
Yeah.
And they were out of town when they didn't get the
I don't know.
notification.
I don't know.
And it was already mentioned about centering the windows in the gable, the breakups. And I already mentioned the east elevation could be more brought down to scale and more human scale at that covered patio. And that's all I have to say. But
can I
overall, I
just-
think it's I could support the overall mass bulk and scale. And really quickly, if you have a question, just really.
Oh, yeah, just real quick. I was just going to say, yeah, the bedroom window was just because of privacy, and then this one was in the stair. But we can look at that and see. That's why we wanted to make it smaller, but we'll explore windows, so I understand.
Yeah, I'm okay with right now, the windows on the south elevation being the size that they are because of the room orientations.
Okay, thank you.
And I think that south elevation, and as I believe Board Member Rolfe mentioned, that window looks almost too small. And because it's the front yard, it could be bigger, and that could be a way to get more south light.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely,
does
thank you.
anybody want to take a stab at a motion here? If not, let me try so we can move forward. This would be an indefinite continuance back to the full board with the following comments: that the board could support the waiver of providing the supplemental application material for the FAR being greater than 89%, over 85%. The second comment would be that the board is in support in general of the mass, or the location of the second-story addition. And the applicant should study the proportion of the second story and the relationship between the header height and the plate height. And study or, restudy the upper level windows, window breakups and sizes to be cohesive in design. The board feels that the upper level addition facing the street is, could be more integrated to the massing of the second story, and that the upper level roof is overpowering the second story massing above the patio area on the second floor. Resolve all of the materials and how they relate to one another, especially with regards to wrapping from one elevation to another. And I want to make sure I covered the issue about the proportion and the second story plate. What did that second comment, what, can that be read back to me?
I have the second comment as the board supports the location of the second story addition. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have support location of the second story addition and the applicant to study the proportion of the second story and relationship between the header and plate heights.
Yeah, and I'd like to add to that comment that the plate height at 9 feet, as is proposed, is not, does not appear to be appropriate considering the header height of the windows, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you get the comment that the proportion isn't quite there. And that's my motion. So can I have a seconder for the motion?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any comments? Okay.
Did we cover everything?
I don't know.
We mentioned, do we want to clarify the distance to the neighbor, Ethan? Or do we, like, did you mention chimney? Like, or it's just a recommendation, so.
I don't know if the chimney issue, were you proposing to make a change to the chimney?
No.
I don't, we're not, it's an existing chimney.
We'll leave it to
And
that so
then,
early.
and then
Yeah,
I don't think, I don't think I need to mention anything about the neighbor, because the neighbor to the west is so far away that, let's just add in there that the applicant is to return with a landscape plan that it's encouraged for the applicant to return with a landscape plan that provides landscaping between the western neighbor and the proposed second-story addition to add to maintaining the privacy of the second story facing west. How's that? Okay.
Great. And then, I think there was, just from my notes when I was listening to your conversation, was something about the garage door. I think Board Member Rolfe had comments on the garage door and hardy panel, and having
The board
it-
looks forward to seeing a comprehensive finish schedule with quality materials.
Yeah, that's good. And then, do we want to add in there that we encourage them to talk to the neighbor on the west too? Or was,
It's south.
oh, it's south, okay. Okay.
I think it's kind of implied.
It's implied, okay, okay.
That they should.
Yeah.
It would behoove you to do that. And I'm just going to leave it out.
Okay.
So unless I don't get a seconder for the motion and then it dies.
I think she had a second.
Okay.
Did you
Okay.
second?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Do
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
Here we go. Board Member Rolfe?
Yes.
Yes. Board Member Richards?
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti?
Yes.
Vice Chair Moslehi?
Yes.
And Chair Scher.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes for continuance. Thank you.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that concludes the full board agenda for May 4th. Everybody have a nice evening.